Okay, here we have another piecewise function that we will be graphing. First step is to take out those handy dandy highlighters and highlight each piece in a different color. We have a linear function, negative 3x minus 2, when x is less than or equal to 0. So I'm not only going to highlight the piece of that function in yellow, but I'm also going to go over to the x-axis and I'm going to highlight the domain which corresponds to that function, and that will be where x is less than or equal to 0. I go to 0 and I shade to the left. Then our next piece is the square root of x plus 3. So we have a square root function, and that is when x is greater than 0. X is greater than 0. I'm going to make myself a note. I have a closed circle at the end of the domain for one function, and I have an open circle for the other. I can make a table. I can make two tables. I've got x and f of x. This is for the yellow domain, and I can pick some values. And I can make another table if I don't have a lot of vertical room. And this would be for the domain of the purple piece. So some values that are x is less than or equal to 0, I could put in a negative 5, and that would give me 15 minus 2, which would be off the grid. I can put in a negative 4, and that would work. So let's start there. We put a negative 4 in. When we put a negative 4 in, it's going to go into the yellow piece. It's part of the yellow domain. So it goes into the yellow function rule. Negative 3 times negative 4 is 12. 12 minus 2 is indeed 10. Negative 4, positive 10 is right there. Then we will put in a negative 3, and we would get 9 minus 2 is 7. Then we would put in a negative 2, and we would get 6 minus 2 is 4. Then I would put negative 1 in. Negative 1 times negative 3 is 3. 3 minus 2 is 1. Then I would put a 0 in. This is going to result in a closed circle. 0, negative 2 is our output. So those points are all the points we could possibly get, and that graph ends right there. So I cannot continue to put values in because that would be part of the other domain of the second piece. Now again, I'm going to start at 0 right here because x is greater than 0. This is a critical point right here. So when I put that 0 in, the square root of 0 is 0. 0 plus 3 is 3. So when I put a 0 in, I get a 3 out, and that is going to be an open circle because 0 is not included in the domain. 0, 3, there's my open circle. Then I put a 1 in. The square root of 1 is 1. 1 plus 3 is 4. So we put a 1 in and we get a 4 out. If I put a 4 in, the square root of 4 is 2. 2 plus 3 is 5. If we put a 9 in, we get a 6 out. And we know that that is a square root function that looks just like that. And once again, I'm going to check to make sure that this passes the vertical line test. So here's my vertical line going from left to right. The only possible place that this could fail is right where the 2 points are above one another or below one another. And one is open, the other one is closed. Therefore, there's only one point that's included, and that's this blue one. It passes the vertical line test. So I feel comfortable that we have a good graph. Okay, next video we'll do example number 3, which this time, just a heads up, we don't have 0 being the value that's shared. This is going to be shifted off a little bit. So that one will be a little bit interesting to look at and see what we've got.